everybody out there in the land of YouTube. This is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. You all have that memorized yet? Today is April 25th, 2022. Welcome to the Psychic News Network. I get things in the mail. I have a postcard to show you. Voting rights are human rights. Lest we forget, democracy is a spiritual idea. It's a spiritual ideal that we live the lives that we want to live in the way we choose to live them without harming one another. So I like that. I thought that was good. I hope you had a good weekend. I felt the collective exhale when Macron took it for France. So viva France. That was a big deal. I don't think we realized what a big deal that was. I don't think we realized what was at risk if Macron hadn't won. We don't even want to go there. There's a lot of things that are good, that turned out for the good, that turned out all right, and I don't think we say enough praise or gratitude, or just thoughts of gratitude. And then just listening to the news and listening to what the January 6th Commission is coming up with. It's pretty amazing. I knew it. I knew that there was angelic intervention on January 6th. I know we go through a lot. I know it's tense and disturbing. But we really do have to look at what could have happened, didn't happen. So, on that note, let's go to what's going on with the GOP. So, I think it's really important that we all pass the word that the GOP is fighting to have authoritarianism take over democracy. Lest you not know or be confused, we really do have to start saying it like that. The GOP is trying to steal our democracy and replace it with autocracy, which means the wealthy elite, and we'll get to Elon Musk, the wealthy elite decide how it's going to go for everybody. And they take away our human rights. That is the bottom line. Case in point, just one case in point, one tiny little case in point, is Ron DeSantis taking away, it's not in effect till next year if it does happen, taking away Disney World's right to operate as its own, government, including covering all costs of maintenance of all the rides and the property and just everything, can you imagine how much landscaping goes on in Florida at Disney World? It's to the tune of billions. And so Ron DeSantis doesn't care how it affects the people in Florida. He just wants to go ahead and jack up the taxes because everybody's property taxes are going to go up to, I think it's like around 25% more than what the Floridians are paying already, in order to cover the nut of Disney World that he is proposing and signing into law, that it goes to the state now. Not now, but when it goes into effect, June of next year, I believe it's proposed to go into effect. So, hang on, I dropped something. I dropped my water. So, there's so much going on. There's always so much going on. That's why we have the Psychic News Network, because it's just too much. And we have all these other psychics on YouTube, because it's a lot. And, shout out to all the other psychics on YouTube. It's a big job, but we feel called to do it, so that's why we're here. And it's good to join together as a community. Please encourage other psychics, if you watch them on YouTube, to get their viewers to join Grassroots of Democracy. It feels really good to be playing, to be in the game, rather than to watch the game being lost. And I mean, if you're in a game, you have to fight. You have to fight. My hair's doing something weird. You have to fight to win. And that doesn't mean we have to be violent. If you're in the if you're in the game of democracy, it's a participatory sport. It's not an observer sport. Democracy is we all are in the game. I mean, think about it when you were in high school. If you played sports, you know, you were all in the game for your team. And we're on Team Democracy. And we are doing a lot to make sure that we keep our democracy. Namely, what we're doing is making sure that we're aligning with organizations like, I don't know, Demand Justice, Adam Kinzinger's Country First, any candidates that are running, like we're going to talk about who needs to replace Ron DeSantis and how to support them, and support Marcus Flowers in Georgia. And we're getting on the bandwagon, finding out what the Lincoln Project is up to. Just for example, I'm just throwing these things out there. They're just things that we've talked about. Swing Blue Alliance that sends postcards to voters to tell them to get out and vote. Fight this redistricting to make it harder for minorities to vote. Going to the United States Postal Service Board of Governors to oust DeJoy. Anyway, that's just a little bit of what we're doing. So please join by sending an email to grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com and just type AYE in the subject line. That will get you the that will send you the Zoom invite. It's not anything to be afraid of. It's just show up, and you know, if you don't want to say much, don't say a thing, but just be present. So there's that. So the GOP is they're really working really hard to take away our democracy. If January 6th didn't do it, they're going to try everything else that they can do. It's not just Trump, he's the kingpin, but it's his whole mob. Ron DeSantis being one. So let's start with Ron DeSantis to say, and I want to remind everyone, I don't know if you were with me during the time that I was saying, I'd say about 5 months ago, that I was really concerned about people that live in Florida. One of the reasons was the weather, but the other reason was that I just kept sensing that Florida was going to be like a big dark cloud of energy. Like I just couldn't figure out what it was. But if you go back and see some of those videos, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, whenever I talked about Florida, it was like, this is bad. And I was even telling people who were getting readings, if they were planning to move there, like, you might want to wait. I didn't know what was coming, but now I see what was coming. It's Ron DeSantis' heinous treatment of the position that he's in. I mean, to be appointed governor of the huge state of Florida and to be abusing its citizens the way that he is. And, you know, I just heard today too, he is putting that, you know, tactical police unit for, you know, for the voting, for, you know, when people are voting, you know, you gotta have those police out there just in case they're minorities and they think they're gonna vote. I'm adding that part. That's not what he said, but they can make up fake crimes and arrest people that go to vote at the polls. It's fascism. So let's see. Anyway, I just heard Charlie Crist on Joy Reid, and I like him, and let's get on the bandwagon to support him. I did listen to Nikki Fried over the weekend. I do not like her. Anyway, if anybody was thinking of voting for her, I don't know a lot about her, but her energy's not, okay. Charlie Crist is the real deal. So let's see, we want to pull a few cards on what's going to happen with Ron DeSantis's insanity. You know, with Disney and everything. I still cannot believe he took on Disney. I still cannot believe how devastating that would be for Florida. the biggest tourist attraction in the world. We're talking billions, people. We're not just talking a little tourist attraction. We're talking lots and lots of money. This isn't Six Flags. This is something else. Anyway, I'm sorry. This is okay. Ron DeSantis, and what the outcome of all his what did I call it the other night? Blind lust for power. Blind lust for power. Doesn't even see what he's doing. He's blind with lust for power. So it's just the need for power overrides all logical thought. As we see Ron DeSantis as the hermit card, he's feeling increasingly isolated. I feel like he's seen Charlie Crist numbers go up. I think, don't quote me on this, I think Crist might be ahead in the polls. We'll check and see how it looks for Charlie Crist in Florida. So DeSantis, he's backed himself into a corner. They do that. These Republicans do that. So now he's, oh my goodness. I wouldn't want to be Ron DeSantis right now, but I couldn't. I'm not wired that way, so I couldn't be. It's not even humanly possible, nor is it for any of you guys. But I wouldn't want to be him because of the pain. He's got it coming from everywhere. People are furious, and I see, the other thing I said months ago was, I see lawsuits after lawsuits, and I see that Ron DeSantis has been involved in a lot of illicit criminal activity that involves stealing money. This is how it looks for our buddy Ronnie right now. It's not good. The only thing that would make him happy is if he can just smash everybody down, like smoosh them down and shut them up. DeSantis would love to duct tape everybody and just rule over them. He's a tyrant. He's a tyrant. So, I did get a little snippet of information. I didn't look into it too far just yet. But that redistricting that DeSantis has done, because he's so afraid that he'll lose, because why wouldn't he lose? Because his policies are heinous. And not to mention, I mean, it's not lost on me that whenever he signs a terrible bill, he has children around him. It's like, these like young, it's like, don't throw them under the bus. They've got nothing to do with your horrible behavior. It's crazy. Anyway, so he's going to do his damnedest to rig the system so that Charlie Crist cannot beat him. It's only April, people. It's only April. I've dropped a card. Hang on. Okay. This is the energy of Crist just starting to get momentum. I didn't really plan to get into this, but that race, but Charlie Crist is really starting to gain some momentum. And the guys are saying there's some big money. Ooh. Is it Disney? I feel like this big money. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if Disney went from funding, donating to the Republican Party and flipped and donated to Crist? Wouldn't that be interesting? Let's take out the pendulum. By the way, if you're in my pendulum class on April 30th, you should have received an email today just confirming things and asking us, we asked to, just firm everything up. We got into a little disorganization with that. But anyway, everyone who signed up, you're signed up, and look for an email from us confirming everything. Is Charlie Crist going to beat DeSantis? It's looking really positive right now. It's looking real good for Crist. Support him. Get the people in Florida, send postcards. Make sure they're getting out the vote. There is time. It's only April. Okay. is Ron DeSantis going to be in legal trouble? Well, that's a yes. He's going to be in legal trouble. Well, the Disney lawyers are coming after him. Is Disney, this is my final question about this, about Crist and DeSantis. Is Disney going to support Crist for governor? They haven't decided yet. But it's looking affirmative. Well, it's looking affirmative. I want to pull 3 cards about that. Is Disney going to help Charlie Crist? Because they ain't going to help Ron DeSantis, I'll tell you that. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot, man. Or biting off your nose to spite your face, as they say. This is about Charlie Crist. Is he going to be helped by Disney? A bit under the radar. That's interesting. Because Disney's really angry at DeSantis. They see his nefarious ways. I feel like Disney is discussing who to support for governor. And I feel like, yes, I feel like that they will. The 6 of Cups, it's going to be... It's going to be under the radar. It feels like they're not going to go real public with it. It's not that we can't know, because it's public information. But it feels like they're not going to make a big to-do out of it. But Disney, it looks like Disney's going to help Crist. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not always an oncoming train, I promise you. I don't think the people of Florida are going to put up with it. I really don't. I think that, enough is enough. And I talked the other night about how the good people, need to come back into fashion. When we heard from McMorrow, the Michigan senator, last week, I think that was last week, right? Might have been a week ago. That was an indication of, she was kind of showing the Democrats how to do it, how it must be done. A lot of the Democratic Party and leadership, I mean, are kind of old school in the sense that they think that people are, they want to follow the Constitution and stuff and be good people. I do see more of a snowball effect of the Democrats coming together and fighting back. I mean, if we just gave the Republicans a taste of their own medicine even a little, they would be shaking in their boots. So let's see how we're doing with our democracy, with our Democratic leaders. Are they going to gain more momentum? Oh, and I do want to say, too, that I felt like I kind of tapped into the Merrick Garland energy, and this is what I really think. I think because of the continual threat of violence, I think that Merrick Garland has got it in his mind that he's going to wait to prosecute until the American people have seen the hearings and have heard from the January 6th committee. That's what I feel like we're on for a timeline. And I know it's really aggravating that we want to hear, updates and that sort of thing. I just don't think that's how he rolls. Okay, 3 cards about the Democrats. Our Democratic leader is going to step it up. Well, this is a communication card. They're working out, our Democratic people in positions of leadership are talking about how to message, how to get the messaging out. I feel like the Democratic Party is getting some, funds to do together to do this. You remember how the Lincoln Project that I mentioned has a lot of money behind it. I don't know how much, but that kind of thing. Like if you're gonna market to get a message out, you need funding and you need cooperation. It looks like the Democrats are ready to do that. Oh, and this is a Prince of Wands, which was the Crist energy, right? I think it was a Prince of Wands. It was. I just pulled that one. So, okay, so let's see. I have my list. I wrote DeSantis WTF. You should see my notes. I probably wouldn't read them all to you because they were kind of chicken scratch. Oh, we need Val Demings for Senate too in Florida. So let's get on supporting the Democrats in Florida for sure. Okay, so the news that I don't really feel like I want to get into, but I will for a moment, is Elon Musk's shenanigans purchasing Twitter. It just became something the shareholders really, really wanted because they're greedy. And can I just say right here and right now, money is not the key to happiness. Okay? People, many, many, many studies have been done that people with not a lot of money are often, you know, like in third world countries, for instance, that live with a lot of faith and a lot of connection to family and a lot of appreciation for everything that they have and are able to have. The Western world has not been, according to statistics, considered the happiest people on the planet. I don't think it's ever been that way. So Mr. Elon Musk, is he really happy? Let's just ask that. Is Elon Musk really happy? Is he deeply happy? I know he has Asperger's, and I only bring that up because he mentioned it on SNL, which really explained a lot in terms of how his energy is, how he presents. And I do think that he probably is so in his brain that he has a hard time. I've met people like this, and you have too, that are really in their brain so much and it's hard to drop it down, and they're usually highly intelligent. And it's sad, actually. It's really sad. So, Elon Musk, let me see. Is Elon Musk having trouble finding his heart? That's an honest question. Is Elon Musk having trouble finding his heart? No, that's not it. Well, no, and it's not that. He's a hard one to figure out. Is Elon Musk just wanting to look like the big guy on campus? Is that what this is about? Is that what Elon Musk just wants to look like the big guy on campus? Oh yeah. I'm not on Twitter. I've never been drawn to Twitter. I've kind of sampled it here and again, and it just never hooked me. So if you're on it and you're hooked to it, it might take a little bit to get off of it. But really the biggest weapon that we have against Elon Musk opening up Twitter so that people can just incite violence like the insurrection, like Trump did, and all his minions. If you're on Twitter, since Elon Musk has purchased it, I would recommend getting off of Twitter just to send a message. We don't have the fairness doctrine anymore. So it's a freaking jungle out there. It's interesting times that we live in because we have laws that aren't applicable to our current situation of this mass social media presence in the world right now. It's very scary, and it's very much like Matrix-like. When I think about Elon Musk, I think about him, thinking it would be a really wonderful thing for us to all have chips, computer chips under our skin. When I think about Elon Musk, I think about how he talks about, and I've seen video of this and you can look it up, that we could have, we should have, this is Elon Musk, chips in our brain. And I saw the experiment where a monkey was controlling a computer by thinking. And the technology is out there for that. So the technology is out there for us to have, you know, things installed in our bodies that turn us into computers. So this is a really precarious situation that we're in. So anyway, he bought Twitter, and I'm just mentioning these things because this is how his brain works. He thinks it's a good thing if we have chips implanted in our heads, and so then we don't have to do our passwords and our, you know, different things that we don't have to, we can just think it and Google will look it up, that kind of thing. So it's insanity. I know it's insanity. Let's read the cards. I want to see what's going to happen. I mean, Twitter, they were holding out for a while, but you know, when you have all those shareholders and it's just like, and we glorify money. It's all about how much more money. I don't mean all of us, but there's a certain segment of the population that doesn't have the capacity to feel love, and so they have to fill them. There's a hole in their soul. They have to fill it up with money. It's very tragic. So what's going to happen with Twitter? 3 cards for that. I hope it's nice where you live. Still a little chilly in New England, but really beautiful. I'd rather have this than hot, hot, hot. Oh, interesting. What's going to happen with Twitter? This is weird because it's showing up like this could be a good thing because it's getting the discussion out there. I didn't expect to see that. I didn't expect to see that. This is the Ace of Swords. There's something good that's going to come of Elon Musk taking over Twitter, as much as I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth, but I really feel like it's about people standing up and saying, whoa, there has to be some guidelines. And I actually, wow, this is interesting. Because I have to look at the news and find out more about what's going on. I see guidelines. I see, let me see. Did I find out anything about this today? I see some kind of guidelines. I see Twitter having to have some sort of rules. Am I just being Pollyanna about this? Tell me more, dear cards. Tell me more. Pray tell. Tell me more. Let's wait and see. Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. I think he's got somebody in his ear going, you might not want to blow it to pieces because people won't like that. So there's a little bit of having to succumb to through public pressure to some regulations. I hope to see that. All right, alrighty then. I was very upset about that because I know how he is. He wants to turn us into robots. And I remember the Terminator? Jeez. Those sci-fi movies, you know, it wasn't all sci-fi. Some of it was, you know, premonition. So interesting. Okay, we'll change channels now. Next topic. Get out of that energy. Next topic. The question that I wrote down is, will there be any safeguards in those on Twitter? And those cards that I pulled are saying that there will be some safeguards, which is shocking to me. Maybe the people will speak out. Is that what it is? Either the people will speak out or they'll drop out if they don't. If they don't have ways to reel in the violent talk. If there aren't any safeguards, I think the people will rebel by dropping out. I dropped out of Facebook. I have an account there, but if you try to reach me on Facebook, I'm probably not going to answer you. Just so you know. NanetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. Okay, so is it going to be that there will be safeguards? Yes, I get yes, because people will drop out if there aren't. People have the power. That's a song. That's a Patti Smith song. People have the power. I'm not going to sing it because they're going to take me off YouTube if I sing it. Shall we see how Marjorie Taylor Greene is feeling today? Pompous. The guys just said pompous. I don't know. There was something going on there. It was pointed out to me that she had a little kind of microphone. I did see that. I think it was at our Grassroots of Democracy meeting. No, it couldn't have been because the hearing was on Friday. Somebody showed it to me. It's like flesh colored. Let's ask what that was. Was somebody talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene through that little device as she was on the stand? Was somebody talking to her as she was on the stand? Yes. Did you see that she spelled martial law Marshall? And you know, we remember the gazpacho debacle, right? When she meant to say Gestapo. We remember that. She's not too bright. She's not too bright, and she doesn't know history. She doesn't know how government works. She's just a big CrossFit bully. And I don't mean to put down CrossFit, but you know, it's all about this tough. You know, when people have to act all that tough, you gotta wonder. Let's see how Seesaw Marjorie. I don't know. Let's see how she's doing. Seesaw Marjorie. Dog. She's actually kind of emotional because she really did blow it. She really did make herself look like a fool. Not that she has remorse, because these kinds of people don't have remorse. But she's nervous. That's the moon card, is that she's nervous. The Six of Swords, that's about January 6th. She is starting to recognize, and she's very nervous. This is like the moon. This is like the sign of Cancer. This is about, you know, Cancer rules stomach. This is about feeling like really nervous. And it's about the January 6th committee. And it's I think it's finally starting to sink in to Marjorie Taylor Greene's very thick consciousness that they have a lot on her. And I think that on Friday she realized that her own words and videos could be used against her in a court of law, and it didn't sink in until Friday. That's about the January 6th committee. And now she's just looking at ways that she can stay on the ballot. I guess Raffensperger has the final word on that. And the other day, I felt like she wouldn't be able to run again. It's either that or she will run and lose, but I don't see her keeping her seat. And the guides are showing me that she's in over her head. That they just showed me an image of her drowning, which is symbolic of being in over her head. So let's see what's going to happen to Marjorie Taylor Greene's future. What's going to happen to Marjorie Taylor Greene's future? Whoa! Bye-bye. I committed a lot of crimes and I can't get away with it. Justice and the devil. She's working for the devil. She's working for dark money. She's working for the devil. She's a puppet. Bye-bye, Marjorie. Justice has got you. How many times did I say when the January 6th committee comes out with it where it's going to make our hair curl, and if your hair is curly, it's going to make it straight? How many times did I say that? A lot. And it's still happening. It's still the little tidbits. Wait till we see the whole story and everybody that was involved. It's a long list. And you might have heard Jamie Raskin saying, you know, about Mike Pence not, you know, the people when, you know, being under assault at the Capitol, all our leaders that were, you know, their lives were almost taken from them, several nearly assassinated. If Mike Pence had left, that would have been the end of our democracy, no matter what you think about Mike Pence, and for whatever reason he did that, even if it was out of his own self-interest, it doesn't matter. There was an angel of God over the Capitol, that building, that day over that Capitol building, and we did not lose our democracy. But for the grace of heaven, or whatever you believe in, we did not lose our democracy. So when we come that close to losing something, and then we don't actually lose it, we are, as humans, really more motivated to make sure we cherish what we have. So we, you know, what we're finding out is just incredible. Let's take a look at the January 6th committee and what's, you know, because it's just, so Mike Pence wouldn't get in the car. The Secret Service wanted to whisk him away, and he knew if he had left, and the other leaders, if they had left, that was the end of our democracy. It's going to make your hair curl, I'm telling you. And the love, okay, so the love for country is really coming through strongly. This is a Republican saying, oh, well, bye-bye, we're out of stories. They're literally out of stories. The insurrectionists that are in the Capitol, that are senators and congressmen, they've run out of stories. Kevin McCarthy has run out of stories. He was going to ask Trump to resign, and now his story is, oh, I didn't really say that. What I meant was, as he's down at the border trying to make up some sort of a story about, it's all Joe Biden's fault that we have people coming across the border, and that they're going to take away the law that made it harder for people to come across the border because of COVID. They're down there. They're down there trying to make a big to-do out of that. Yeah, the January 6th committee, it's very sad. It's very sad what they're finding out. It's tragic. Like Jamie Raskin was saying, the most chilling words in our American history are the words that Pence spoke when he said, I'm not getting in that car, when the Secret Service was trying to whisk him away so they could finish the job, so the insurrectionists could finish the job, you know, under the sort of the guise of, we're just trying to keep you safe. It's amazing. It's just amazing. It's just, we do live in interesting times. What else do we have? Thank God Macron won the election. Can I get a witness? Let's see. I'm getting there. I have a lot of questions, but I'm getting through all of them. I want to look at Purdue in Georgia. Oh God! One of his main statements, one of his opening statements to running for governor of Georgia was, the 2020 election was stolen. Who's the ones that are trying to steal elections right now? Come on, give me a break. Come on, Purdue. Go sit down. Go sit down. We're going to look at Purdue. What's going on with him? The guys just said, Purdue is like, you know, that was the name of the chicken company. Purdue is like a chicken. He's pecking around the ground to see if he can get any money. That's what it looks like. Oh, freaking hilarious. Boy, this Prince of Wands keeps wanting to come up. And the Prince of Wands tonight is representing democracy. Democrats in the races that are just starting to get moving. It's like if you've ever run a road race at the beginning, you just kind of start to get going until you kind of get your momentum. I feel a lot of support for Abrams and Georgia. I'm not following that race very much, but I will now. But it looks like I see the energy of Democrats having a stronghold there. Purdue really doesn't have anything right now. He didn't win. Him and Loeffner with the long hair, and Warnock and Ossoff won on January 5th, the night before January 6th, 2021. Amazing. I mean, just let's just take a deep breath and go, thank you. I promise we're going to save our democracy. I promise we're going to save our democracy. Let's just do that. Okay. Trump is in contempt for not turning over documents. Letitia James has had enough. She's had it up to here. And I think he gets fined $10,000 a day for not turning over documents. He's in contempt. Let us just pull a few cards about that, shall we? Oh, I wanted to say while I'm thinking about it, while I'm pulling cards, we're doing a show tomorrow. Corey and I are doing a show tomorrow. And we are going to record it during the day and post it at night. Usually 8 o'clock. Just FYI. We had a wicked long show the other night. I got to figure out how to have make the show shorter. Anyway, it's always fun. Oh, Trump. This is funny. Okay, so Letitia James is holding Trump in contempt for not turning over the documents that he's supposed to turn over. Time's a wasting. He's getting fined 10 grand a day. That's a lot of money. He's out there grifting. The other night I told you it's all grifting. All this rally stuff is all grifting. He's just doing it to get the money because he's out of money. And he's pretty much, gosh, it's interesting. It's like it's almost like if you had a whole bunch of credit cards and you didn't have any money, and so you maxed out all your credit cards. This is Trump right now. And then you were just trying to get that one bank to give you a credit card just so you could pay something, you know. Anyway, this is Trump and Letitia James, and this is Letitia James collecting all this money from Trump. I don't know where he's gonna get it. That's crazy. I don't think he's gonna win that one. Is Trump gonna turn over the documents? It looks like he's going to have to. It looks like he's not going to have any choice. Remember when he was out there at that rally saying, if they hold me in contempt or whatever, that, you know, we're going to... Remember that rally? I forget where it was, where he was like, then we're going to have the biggest rally ever. He was threatening violence against the justice system. These people need to be stopped. How about if we wind down with because this is getting too long. How about if we wind down with we have so many things to choose from. How about if we talk about, it was going to be one thing, but I'm going to go to this other thing. Putin. And here's what Putin seems very, very, very physically sick to me. Very physically sick. And he's planning for May 9th, which is today's the 25th, so that's going to be 2 weeks from today. Putin's planning, according to what he has said, to have a victory parade on May 9th. Let's see what's going to happen with that. A victory parade. And Blinken and Austin, the Secretary of Defense, Austin, they met with Zelensky today. I get a really good feeling about that meeting. I saw Zelensky shaking their hands, and I felt really good about it. I felt like Zelensky was so grateful that they were there. So grateful. So we're asking about Putin on May 9th. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't see... Alright, these cards are saying that... these cards are really about Ukraine. That Prince of Wands, I think, has come up every single time, and I'm shuffling these cards. He's a harbinger of democracy continuing. That's interesting. Okay, is Putin going to have his victory, so-called victory parade on May 9th, even though he's not having a victory? Is he going to have a victory parade on May 9th? The pendulum is saying no. How many more weeks for this war? 1 week? 2 weeks? So I'm wondering, I just said it's 2 weeks from today. I'm wondering if on May 9th, let's ask while we're here, while we're at it. I'm wondering if on May 9th, rather than a victory parade, maybe he makes it look like a victory parade, but actually, you know, like, okay, we did what we meant to do here. I could see that. And then, you know, and the war's over, we conquered Ukraine. Is that what he's going to do? Yeah. That's what he's planning. Putin is very sick. He's physically sick. He's, you know, the satanic energy can keep anybody going, but I think there's a limit. You know, like all the horror movies when the devil or the monster keeps coming back. Like the Terminator, right? The Terminator. You know, watch The Matrix, the first one. See what you think. You might have heard me tell the story. I think I told it to Corey that when I first saw that movie, and then I was kind of pondering the movie the next day, and I went out for a run, asking my guides the question, do we live in a matrix? And I looked down at that instant, and I saw the word matrix that was on a piece of paper that was on the ground. It was like a notebook cover. At that same instant, we're in a matrix. And Elon Musk is in it. That was a weird one. So I want to mention that a friend in Nashville who's an astrologer, she goes by Zodiac Cafe. Her name is Christina Malone. Well, shout out to her. She sends newsletters about the astrology that's going on, and sent, I think it was Steve Judd, Judd, an astrologer, sent a link to him in which he discussed that we have about 5 planets or something in Pisces this week. I'll get the details on that and let you know. Really intense Piscean energy, and also on I don't know if you talked about this, but on Saturday we have a solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, because we're in Taurus. Second new moon of the month, and it's going to be a really intense day. So a lot of Piscean energy it's you know, on the negative, it could be a lot of flooding and a lot of water issues, but on the positive, highly spiritual energy. When the moon is in Pisces and the sun is in Pisces, that is like massive spiritual, go meditate kind of energy. On the negative, you could get inebriated, but we won't be doing that. All right, look for us tomorrow. If you'd like to book a reading, it's AnnetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. I do have room this week. And please join Grassroots of Democracy, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you for coming to church yesterday. Those of you who did, and the church service is up there, Church of Spirituality, if you'd like to check it out. The sermons are always good. The whole thing is good, and I appreciate all your support. All right, namaste. I do read your comments. I don't respond much because I don't want to play favorites, but thank you for them, and I'll see you soon. Good night.